Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Boba Fett's Starship. This is quite an old set at this point, bit of a delayed reaction to reviewing it, but it comes with 2, maybe 3, depending on how you count it, figures, plus a spaceship, Boba Fett's Slave 1, or as they call it in the set name, Boba Fett's Starship, as well as a small trolley thing, which is being used currently to hold the ship up. So let's start off by taking a look at the figures. Starting from the right, we have the Mandalorian, Boba Fett himself, as well as a dude in carbonite. I'm pretty sure he is from either The Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett, but I don't know who he is, because I've not finished watching them all, and I'm not that good with Star Wars, but I like it, I'm trying. So yeah, starting off with the dude in carbonite, right? I don't know how to feel about it. Like, it's not bad, it's a fun inclusion, and it does work well with the set, which I'll mention a little bit later. However, it's such a simple thing, and for it to not even be a print, like they've done so many better things for carbonite figures. Having a sticker on a tile, on a beam piece with a grated tile on the front isn't exactly what I think of when I think of Lego Carbonite. They did the Han Solo version, which was so much better than this, but then again, it would mean making an entirely new mold for this figure, so I can kind of see why they've done Boba Fett and the Mandalorian himself. So, taking a look at these two figures, taking a look at just their front torso printings, I'll remove all their accessories in a moment, but you can see that they have some pretty nice detailing. The Boba Fett figure has a jetpack, and the Mandalorian has a nice cape piece, trying to get him to stand up. Now, Boba Fett has some really nice arm printing, as well as the Mandalorian. Both these figures, I must admit, if it meant that we only get these two figures, but get the printing, I wouldn't mind it. I really like this printing. They are the most detailed figures I've seen from LEGO in a while. However, the fact that there's only two figures, it would have been cool to get at least 3, because I don't really consider the carbonite figure as one. So you're going to remove all the accessories so you can have a look at the front and back. Here's a better look at the front printing for both figures. Obviously you can see Boba Fett's head print. Unfortunately, the Mandalorian still doesn't have a face printing, which is disappointing. It's not bad because I do keep the helmet on most of the time, but it would have been nicer to have something like Boba Fett where it's just at least some face printing. So, I think these figures are pretty good, especially the Mandalorian figure. I really like the detailing for the sidearm printing, as I said before. Not that the Boba Fett is bad, it is still an amazing figure. However, just the Mandalorian has a slight edge over that. So next up, we'll take a look at the side build and how it interacts with one of the other figures. As I mentioned before, there is this small side build, which is used as, first off, a stand for the Boba Fett's Slave 1, as well as possibly a way to transport this, the carbonite frozen person. You can slide them in there and then just drop that on top, and it's kind of like a trolley. It's even got a space on the back for a minifigure if you really wanted to. You could have the Mandalorian just on there, driving it along, It's fun, it's a nice inclusion. I really like how it works with the ship, which I'll show you now if I remove this. On the back of the Slave 1, you can see that there's these, notches. In fact, I'll probably show you from the side. What you're doing is, first off, putting the front piece there, and then just using the ladder on the back there. I don't know how well you guys can see that. However, it does hold the ship up quite nicely. You can slide it along. It's not the sturdiest, I'm not going to lie. It could be a lot better, however, it's not bad. I'm not complaining with how stable it is. It's easy to remove. It definitely takes a bit of fiddling to get it on, but you can easily get it on if needed. And continuing with this carbonite figure, it does get involved quite a lot within the set. So you can imagine that it's been delivered to the Slave 1, it's landed, and then you can open this up, and there's an empty cockpit here one thing that I need to mention is this piece here is meant to be like the rest of this. It's meant to be this dark red colour. However, when I was building the set on a live stream, I dropped the piece and couldn't find it, so I had to quickly get a replacement for it. So don't judge the set for this random red piece. However, looking back on it, I do think it's kind of fun that it fits into the theme of maybe being scavenged and like, not really scavenged, but like put together without the correct parts, you know? Like, so anyway, you can slide this Carbonite dude in here and then just drop that down, and then, you know, you got Carbonite Man in the Boba Fett Slave 1, and it stays in there pretty well. I haven't had any issues with it like falling out or anything. There's a lot of stickers in this set, more than I would like, to be honest, for such a small set. I know it's not that small, but compared to like other sets of this scale, it's got a lot of stickers. So taking another look at this ship, moving everything else out of the way, you can see that there's some stickers being used here, blank space there, just with a green tile, and then another sticker here. And then on the side, there's a sticker here, and a sticker here, and that's also repeated on the other side here and here. And then there's these two really pointless stickers here and here. I don't know why they were included. Just have tiles there. You know, it's so easy to do. I don't know why LEGO didn't do it with just pieces that are grey. I mean, it does add a slight stripe in the middle, but I don't think that's what they were going for. I think they were meant to have it as like a solid grey piece. I could be wrong, but, you know, it's just kind of disappointing, and it feels like they're adding stickers just for the hell of it. Now, you may be wondering, how am I holding it up without it, like, falling over? And that's because of this handle on the back here. It just kind of slots in there. You can pick it up. It's not the best handle. Like, I do struggle to hold it sometimes, but it's good enough. It's sturdy. You know, I don't know how you can see that, but, like, it's not coming off. It's Technic. It's good, you know. I like the fact that they've included quite a lot of back printing or back detailing on this ship. I really like all of these different things here. Like, I don't know why they were included. It's just some nice greebling. Like, you can imagine it being cables, or maybe if you really wanted to, you could not let the tripod fall over. You could, you know, have Mandalorian holding onto the back there, something like that. You know, use your imagination a bit. That came off when I did that then, but, you know, it probably wouldn't most of the time. But yeah, thrusters on the back and stuff. Now, you may have seen a couple of times when I've been moving this set around that the wings have been moving. It's best to, when assembling this, make sure that there's a little bit of a gap. You know, you want some wiggle room there for them to just freely move up and down when you move it, and I think it has quite a nice effect when you either land the ship or pick it up to fly around. Obviously, when landing, you can open this cockpit here, and there's two different ways that you can put a figure in there. You can either have them stood sideways like this, and then fold that down, and then it doesn't look that bad. If I just move that a little bit further back, you know, you can see that the Mandalorian, Boba Fett is in there with all his gear on. You do have to fold this bit down, but it's nothing too major. Having another look on the console, or the inside, there's this printed piece there. Nothing too special on the interior. However, it's not a bad looking one. And then, speaking of which, the other way that you can put the Boba Fett in is sitting down like this. Now, this is probably my favourite version, just having him in there like that, because when he's like that, you know, he's flat on, he is pretty good, and then he's upside down when he's flying, so it all just comes down to how fiddly you want to be when putting the figure in, and if you're going to be flying them and stuff. It's nice that they've included two ways of putting the figure in. I'm not complaining about that, but it does mean that you can't fit two figures in there at the same time, which, I mean, is good for the scaling. You know, the fact that there's such a small ship and it's got so many details and things does kind of add to it, so I'm not really complaining about the cockpit that much. and the fact that you can fit a figure plus cargo is pretty good. Another thing that I forgot to mention is the stud shooters here and here. I'm not going to shoot them off because I'll lose the studs forever. And you can use them, or you can use your imagination with these two cannons here, either side. Just some really nice detailing, to be honest. Honestly, pretty good in total, you know. I'm now going to set up a small display and give you the final verdict. So here is a quick display that I've set up. Honestly, with these Star Wars ships, it does usually make it very difficult to display them, since it's usually just a vehicle, and I do get pretty bored with Star Wars just being spaceship after spaceship after spaceship after remade spaceship. But this is a good remake of a Star Wars ship, okay? I've always been interested with the design of the Slave One. I think from Boba Fett's version to this version, it's always been pretty cool. I quite like the way that it's done here, to be a bit more of a minifigure scaled version. I like how much they've managed to fit into this. Is it a perfect set? No, I wouldn't say that it's perfect. However, it is definitely a very good set. I will give it that. Obviously, a couple of things I would like to see are more figures. The figures included aren't bad. I really like the figures for this. However, the fact that, you know, that they could be better on the number of figures, because I don't count that carbonite figure. You know, it's not carbonite, dude. Normally I don't mind buildable figures. However, the way that they've done it, which is basically just a brick with a sticker, just isn't for me. I really like this stand, like a lot more than I was expecting. It gives it a really nice way of, first off, displaying the set, but also playing with it. You could do it where, if you include some other things, like some enemies, or maybe if you wanted to do Boba Fett versus Mandalorian, you know, you could have Boba Fett trying to load up the ship of Carbonite Man, but Mandalorian's there stopping him, or, you know, there's a story that can be made there with just this set. Maybe including some villain figures, you know, just the fact that it's just set out like this, there's not really anything to oppose it, and it is basically just a Boba Fett Slave One to display, in my opinion, with some really nice figures. So my use for this set is probably going to be take the figures away. I'll use them in my own displays and leave the set built up like this. And I think it does look really nice on a shelf. I don't think it looks bad from any angles, to be honest. You know, from an upper view, you get a pretty nice look at the set. From a slightly lower view as well, it still looks nice. So I'm not going to complain about that at all. You know, it looks nice, just not the best for play. But then again, as I said before, you can come up with a story if you really wanted to. So it's not as bad as I thought originally. However, that is going to be it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, all of that usual stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and bye.